We haven't actually done a video on this very unique Rattler 5.5. It's kind of a rare Rattler. We've had it for a year. It is a contract upper for a military unit that SIG did. This Rattler config with, it's very similar to your original 5.5-inch Rattler, but it does have the newer barrel, the newer handguard, the Spear LT looking handguard. It has the quick disconnects there. Kind of like the RSAR that people have been sharing on the internet, but it's the 5.5-inch 300 blackout. We have one. A person I know does law enforcement distribution for SIG, and he's had a few of these float through his shop for LE clients of his that were interested in the 300 blackout platform. And this is kind of like a mil LE only version of it now. So again, it was originally developed for a couple of units, and now it is on the mil LE side domestically available through SIG. And we have one because we did an accessory for this upper receiver, a concealment accessory for this whole system for a particular group of people. I have the original 5.5-inch Rattler upper still in its original clone correct form to that unit that we originally did. Our anvil was picked up by 2 units on contract. It's NATO stock numbered, and that's for the RMR. And I left our original Rattler 5.5 just virgin, like the way it was intended to be used. This one, the accessory that we made for this, they wanted to be able to have a lot more attachments on the weapon system. And so I wanted to also build out our Rattler. I left it pretty much clone correct for a while. It comes from the factory with a set of iron sights. I left the rear sight on since I have an adjustable elevation front sight post on our Anvil Ukon, which does have its own rear iron sight, but I left this on for funsies. After we did the Mark 1 review for Sons of Liberty on that Mark 1 SBR contract gun, I really fell in love with the Hollow Sun Iris GR3. I wanted a laser on this Rattler because I wanted to run this in night vision competitions at SIG. SIG has awesome during the week night vision competitions that I like to shoot. Anyway, this is gonna be a combo review. It's gonna be a review on this contract upper paired with the new 300 blackout HEXIUM suppressor from SIG. We're using Mod light buttons that we sell on our website. I have no issues with these buttons in the crane plug going into this. Someone asked if I had issues, I don't. And then the articulating Scout Pro is super important because you can lean that in nice and tight to your iris. Moving on, so this is just your normal Rattler lower with the new upper, and then this is the star of this. Actually, this is probably the real star, but this is what we're really reviewing here is the HEXIUM 300 blackout. So we did a review on the HEXIUM 556 Ti. Blast baffle is super close to the front face of it. I don't recommend mag dumping with that can. This is also a 3D printed titanium can. The blast baffle on this is also very close to the muzzle. I would not do machine gun super, like I wouldn't mag dump 110 supers through this full auto or super fast and just do mag dumps. It's a titanium can. It is not designed to mag dump supers. You will erode the blast baffle, and don't do that. So I'm running subs only in this package. I want this to be the quietest Rattler you've ever heard. So we're gonna run SIG Factory 220 Target OTM subsonics through it. They're super quiet. They're a great target ammo. Don't shoot living things with SIG target ammo like the SIG OTMs. They don't really do a good job. If you're gonna run a sub 300 black through a can in a setup like this that's really quiet, that actually kills things. Discrete ballistics, 188, solid copper, Celis expander. Anyway, homie's over there. Stark's awesome. We're running the angled spade clutch lock. So this whole config I had set up for the clutch lock 300 black SLH. That can's not quiet at all. It's big, long, heavy. Again, it's not quiet. The flow through is good on it, but I want SIG to go back to its super quiet roots. The SRD TI, the SRD steel cans, the 16 baffle, those were the best cans ever made for quiet 300 blackout. I think this is quieter. We will bring out the LVAW, pop some shots with that. We'll do some side-by-sides with the 2 guns, but I think this is quieter. Not by a lot, maybe a couple dBs, but I think it's quieter. We're gonna take the first few shots just shooting into dirt so you can hear it. All right, we'll hit the 50. A lot of people say it's gassy. Yes, it's gassy. It's a 300 black shooting 220 target subs in a 5.5 inch barrel. Uh-oh. One of my rounds was nosedived. For magazines, for feeding 300 blackout, I've had great experience with like the Magpul 300s. I also run Duramags. Duramag makes a great magazine. This is not my length of pull. I'm literally crunched over the gun. I need about 3 more inches of stock length for this to be super great length of pull. I've got other stocks. I've got the gas mask stock. I've got the Spear contract stock. This is still clone correct for how this gun is configured. I'll probably sub in a longer stock for it when I'm running competition night vision comps with it, so I'm not so tucked in and smushed into it and crushing my tubes. Granted, I'll be shooting from this position anyway. I'll be shooting laser, not passive, but it might be nice to have just a little bit more length for control. Yeah, can I point and just shoot a couple from the hip like this? That's pretty good from the hip. So this is my LVAW post sample. This is a machine gun, but we're gonna shoot it semi-auto. Good length of pull. We're just gonna shoot it at 50. We're gonna shoot it into the dirt so you can hear it. This gun is the SRD 762, like the OG can. It's SIG 675. This is the lower receiver adapter to a M4. I'm running this on plus gas. I'm also running that on plus gas. Same ammo, 220 target. This is not as soft shooting in my opinion. Like this can, there's more back pressure in this gun. So I'm getting a little bit higher bolt speed. I'm getting a little bit more bone conduction through my face through the aluminum stock. It sounds louder when I'm shooting it because it's, you know, it's pushing me around a little bit more. And that's because it's a low flow can, not a flow through can. So there you go. That's the LVAW. We'll shoot this again side by side. Yeah, I think this is quieter. It feels quieter in the face. I think the reason why the Rattler HEXIUM 300 is quieter and has a little bit softer felt recoil is it has a flow through element, and it's also 3/4 of an inch longer. So it's got more internal volume, probably much greater internal surface area than the SRD 762 direct thread TI can on the LVAW. And that is attributing to a quieter at the ear sound, as well as a slower bolt speed. And having a very slightly slower bolt speed allows for a softer shooting platform, and you're also not having all that noise, bone conduction through your cheekbone, through the aluminum stock. So everything in general is just a little bit quieter. I'm not gonna burn a MAGA Supers because they're expensive. But this is your Barnes 110 Supersonic. I'll put one in the dirt, one on the 50. One more. It's not bad. That is not bad at all. And just so you can hear it, this is with the LVAW. One more on steel. Yeah, way louder. Way louder. That's stupid quiet though, but again, more back pressure. That HEXIUM is scary quiet. So I think at the end of the day, if you're trying to build a scary quiet configuration, if you have like a 300 blackout bolt gun, it's a really lightweight can. I don't know the specs on the can. Frankie will flash them on the screen here for weight and length, but for its weight, it's super lightweight. The direct thread adapter that comes with it from SIG, I'm not crazy about. There's nothing special about it. It's heavy. I really like clutch lock. I think it's the best suppressor mounting system on the market, and SIG has it. So a lot of my guns have clutch lock on them. And Angled Spade did that awesome adapter, which is hub to clutch lock. And I love it. And that's the go-to. My buddy, he was like, dude, I bet you that HEXIUM can is quieter than your SRD direct thread. And I was like, really? He's like, yeah. If I had $100 to bet, I bet. And it is. It really is quieter. It's so quiet. And I'm sure if they did like an Inconel version of this, I think this is a titanium. If they did an Inconel version of this, we're talking machine gun rated. It'd be so sick. This might be the new hotness. Rattler with the HEXIUM. Quietest gun you can get.